What's up, welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of the new video game adaptation film Borderlands, directed by Eli Roth, starring Cate Blanchett and Kevin Hart, Ariana Greenblatt, and Jamie Lee Curtis in the voice of Jack Black. Borderlands as a film adaptation of a popular video game franchise has been a long time coming. I mean, at this point, Borderlands is the second most successful 2K video game franchise that doesn't involve sports after Grand Theft Auto. At least that's how I think about it off the top of my head. Blockbuster franchise, right? Has many entries, a lot of fans for sure. Signature work of Gearbox, people know. I never exactly have been clamoring for a Borderlands movie because I never quite connected with the games in terms of the wasteland setting, the more comedic tone. I just never quite got invested in this world of Pandora and this world of the Vault Hunters and whatnot. Nevertheless, I think when you get Cate Blanchett to be your ostensible star of the movie, that is pretty exciting. Now, unfortunately, Borderlands is a complete turd. It should really come as no surprise that a movie that was filmed in 2021 and then dumped in August 2024 isn't good, but it's quite impressive how poor Borderlands actually is. You have Cate Blanchett in the lead, one of our great actresses, and yet it's a clear paycheck job from her. The material really isn't there for her to do much of anything because this movie's script is confoundingly bad. This story doesn't make any sense. Kevin Hart surprised me a bit more for playing more of a down-the-middle straight man. The funniest thing in the movie is Jack Black's claptrap, which actually gets a lot of funny jokes. The CGI is quite uneven. At times it looks fine, other times it looks garishly bad, an obvious sign of the reshoots that were done last year. This is a movie that if you're a hardcore fan of the Borderlands franchise, it'll probably piss you off, and if you don't know anything about Borderlands, it has nothing to invite you in with either. So there's really nothing to recommend about it. I think visually, the Borderlands aesthetic, from the games, never was my favorite in terms of that art style. The movie does a decent job of approximating that, but it doesn't really stand out. I think at times the production design looks fine, but it's just always been a bit of a generic palette to me in terms of the world of Borderlands, and the movie doesn't do anything to change that. Borderlands also becomes a movie with a ton of action, especially as the movie progresses, and despite the never-ending combat through a large chunk of the movie when we go underground, there's really nothing to write home about. It's not staged with any grandeur or anything like that. There's no hand-to-hand combat that stands out. It's just kind of turn your brain off moments in the movie, and then when you get to the non-fighting aspects of the movie, you're just completely lost because the story doesn't make any sense. I will say I didn't love Ariana Greenblatt's Tina character. Incredibly grating and frustrating to be with for sure. Despite really having nothing good to say about the movie besides Jack Black's comedy in the film, I have a hard time laying this at the feet of any one person because this is a film that really was so troubled for such a long time, right? I mean, doing the reshoots, over 2 years later with Tim Miller instead of Eli Roth, because Eli Roth was off filming a new movie. I mean, the script clearly being hacked to bits. This feels like it was studio intervention and then just completely given up on in the same regard. I mean, Craig Mazin at one point was a screenwriter on this movie, but he took his name off this film. This just didn't work on a multitude of levels, and that happens sometimes, and it's very reminiscent of the video game curse era when it comes to movies, right? This would have fit right in a good 5-6 years ago in terms of how we used to think about video game films. Of course, since then, we've had great success with stuff like the Super Mario Brothers movie, so the tides do seem to be turning, but this definitely feels like a relic of the past when it comes to trying to crack the video game code on the big screen. And yeah, there's really nothing much to recommend about it. Let me know though, did you like Borderlands for some reason? If so, please tell me what that was. And otherwise, for more movie reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.